Greetings. So this is the Vyr Cold Chantodo build. Going to be the first of 3 different variations I'm going to bring forth for T16 Nephalem Rifting. Historically, this particular combination has been my preference to run the Aether Walker and the Zodiac, the Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. And you need the Aether Walker to reduce your Archon teleport to its base GCD of 0.5 seconds. Archon by default has a 2-second cooldown, which would mean you would need 75% cooldown reduction to get it all the way down, but we can't reach that, especially when the Gokoko Swiftness is not active. We're not reaching that at all. So we use the Aether Walker to reduce this down while we're in Archon. It allows you to teleport a little bit quicker. And that's the theory anyway. This particular season, usually what I do is I tack on the Echoing Fury just because it's a really nice benefit with this build. It gives you extra movement speed. It's like in between your Archons, kind of turns it into a half and half build where you're sometimes teleporting and you're kind of running in between, and kind of sometimes you're using your punch and sometimes you're using your beam. It's kind of cool to mix it up, the different playstyles as you're moving through the rift. Kind of feels really good, really fluid as well, I kind of feel like. And historically, I've just used the Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. I feel like it always provides you with a good Chantodo stack count in Nephalem Rifting. Usually you're looking for at least 10, or right about 10 stacks of Chantodo out of 20, of course. Getting at least 10 is enough for you to destroy T16, and you're looking to reset Archon extremely quickly in these T16 rifts so as to continue your stacking and mobility through the rift, right? So that's pretty much a priority. That's why we run Calamity here. Outside of Archon, you're kind of going to want to continue stacking your Chantodo as much as possible, and Calamity actually procs a Chantodo stack when you cast it on an enemy. Plus, it's CC, so it's kind of nice outside of Archon as well. And the focus here on getting back into Archon is really nice too, because if you recall, Calamity is going to help you return Arcane Power on crit, and it's also getting you back into Archon quicker, so that's kind of nice. Because it's a spender, right? I mean, you're spending Arcane Power, it's proccing your Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, or it should be. Oh goodness, it's an attack because it's dealing damage. Anyway, getting back to the Echoing Fury, just a really nice bonus overall as well for the attack speed, giving you some level of base attack speed to start from just by killing a few enemies. The ramping up time is significantly lower with this particular build using the Echoing Fury, and that's a huge benefit, especially when your rift times are so quick. Reducing this ramp up time at the beginning of a rift or when re-engaging a rift level can be extremely beneficial. Yeah, and aside from that, we're just tacking on a lot of cost reduction, Power of the Storm, a lot of movement speed, using Illusionist, Boon of the Hoarder, Avarice Band for pickup, a lot of the niceties that we all have come to enjoy. Anyways, I just wanted to bring forth this variation. There is a downside here. One of the cool things compared to the previous season where we were using a cube slot, you actually had to dedicate a cube slot for the weapon. Now that we have a 4th cube slot, that actually allows us to place the Halo of Carini in this build. So compared to the last time we had a cube bonus, this is actually going to be quite nice because this build can keep the Halo of Carini for that nice level of toughness. You don't really have to worry quite as much during the rift. You do have to make sure when you're entering the rift though that you let your storm armor do its thing before kind of too quickly engaging, because if you teleport in, the mobs can still insta-give you, so you just be a little bit aware of that, right? And then yeah, one thing you do have to keep aware of with this build, and it's going to be a huge downside, is if they go live with the shadow clones, as they are right now on the PTR, what happens is there's a bad interaction, a negative interaction, where your Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac needs a target. You need a target to hit, basically, to help proc it. And usually you would do this with your static discharge. You've got this high attack speed, helps proc your increased attack speed with the static discharge, procs your Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac even faster to get back into Archon quicker, right? Very nice interaction there. But you have to have a target. And the Shadow Clones, when they spawn, a lot of times some of the attacks, they're like big AoE attacks that just destroy the entire screen's worth of density. And if you happen to end Archon and you're not aware that you still have a Shadow Clone with you, or you just weren't paying attention or whatever, it could definitely kill off your density that you were trying to use to reset, and you'll be stuck kind of out in the open. Luckily with this build we do have the Aether Walker, so you can kind of teleport ahead and tango on. It's not as difficult here, but if you didn't have this, if you're running a GR speed build instead that doesn't include this bonus, then it's a definite thing to be concerned about. I would say it tended to proc once every couple of rifts where you ran into this sort of issue that would negatively affect the speed of the run, like maybe plus 10 seconds clear, just like while you were trying to get it back into Archon, or alternatively, like maybe you entered Archon early and didn't get quite as many Chantodo stacks as you would hope for, or quite as many Archon stacks as you would hope for, right? So it's something to take aware of and just keep an eye on when you're running this style of build, in Nephalem Rifting especially. I do think it's still more worth it to keep the Nemesis Bracers and still click the pylons rather than just skipping them with this build. It's not a big enough issue to unequip this and alter your playstyle. I think it's still more efficient to click the pylons in the shrines, right? But gonna be something to worry about in season. Yeah, aside from that, just a lot of shielding, keeping up your squirts, stacking, like always, looking good. I love this build. Anyway, gonna bring forth 2 other variations. I hope you've enjoyed this quick mini guide, and yeah, thank you.